All right, so let's create some tools. Now these tools are going to be really, really simple, and they have to be simple or else you won't use them. And what I hope is that you will make this into a habit and start making tools like this for your entire life. So what these tools consist of, like I've said a couple of times, is you have to come up with an aim, a goal, you know, a target. Where do you want to get to? And then we're going to come up with the tools to get there. And then we're going to create some kind of tool, and it's basically just a statement and a commitment to yourself that when I falter, this is what I'm going to do. All right, so that's the basis of the tool. So go ahead and go to page 7 of your curriculum, and it says custom tools for living with the real me. So these are tools so that you can drop the cardboard cutout and feel like you're equipped and planned and you know exactly what you're going to do when you don't have the cardboard cutout anymore. All right, so tools to help be your authentic human self. Now here's what I want to talk about with that. For most things in life, what I have learned, and I think you'll agree, we have to make decisions. If we want to be happy and healthy, we have to make decisions that lead to self-respect. I have found that, you know, the words like self-care and self-love can be very ambiguous and confusing, and you don't exactly know what to do. But what I have found is that when I focus on self-respect, those lead to decisions that ultimately lead to taking better care of myself and loving myself, and also respecting, loving, and caring for others. So when I'm talking about these tools that we're going to make, what I want you to think about is, what are the decisions that I would need to make every day in my life that would make it so that when I'm going to sleep at night and I'm thinking about how the day went, I would feel self-respect above anything else. I would think, you know, those were really tough decisions that I made today. Some of them other people aren't going to understand. I probably disappointed some people, but I know I did the right thing and I feel self-respect. And so that's the way that I have found is the easiest way to guide my decision making throughout the day, which leads to, you know, how I spend the entire day, how I spend my actions throughout the day, is if I think, what decision do I need to make right now that feels the most like self-respect? So when it's with your human self, and that's your self that you know is learning, growing, and becoming, and in this human body with the human body limitations, which means we don't have unlimited energy. We don't have, you know, we don't have superpower skills like maybe some of you guys do, but like we can't fly and we can't jump and we can't be invisible, you know, all that kind of stuff. So as your human self, here's the question. What could I do that feels like self-respect to my human self? So that means we have to respect our limitations. We have to respect the sicknesses that we might have. We might have some mental illnesses that we deal with. We might have trauma that we're still dealing with. All of those things deserve our honor and respect. All of those are part of this experience that we're having, and they aren't things that we can just forget about. Like if you have PTSD, or you have things that trigger you, or you have diabetes, or you have fibromyalgia, or whatever it is, whatever thing that you, in this human body, in this human experience that complicates your whole life school thing, you still have to make decisions that are custom designed to respect those limitations. Also, you might be, you know, all of us have gifts and strengths as our human selves that we also need to respect. We need to not, you know, tamp down our beautiful strengths and talents and gifts to make other people feel comfortable and to make ourselves feel most comfortable, because those are the things that have been gifted to us, and to the way that we behave as if we have self-respect as to our human self is to really give ourselves the opportunity to grow those gifts and use them in whatever way feels the most right for us. So I want you to think for a minute about how to respect your human self. And that will be one of the goals that you will shoot for, okay? Now, moving on to the second one, your soul, that's a little bit different. So what are the things that maybe your soul wants to learn that are more eternal? What could I do to show respect to my soul? Now that's going to be a very, very personal answer. You know, I think if the more you get quiet and get in touch with who your soul is, I definitely would recommend soul restoration if you want to dig really deep into that. The more you learn who your soul is, the more you start behaving with respect toward yourself in your own life. And that sometimes means that you have to do things that other people don't understand, or that aren't putting somebody else's, somebody else's thing ahead of your own, because you're like, I'm here to do a thing. I'm here to live this life. I feel like I want to try out this purpose, whatever it is. So what is it for you that you could do to show respect for your soul? Does it have to do with your spiritual beliefs? Does it have to do with just some dreams that you have? Does it have to do with some gifts that you have? Does it have to do with a relationship you have? What is it? What are you thinking of first of how could I most respect my soul? And for me, probably that answer usually boils down to spending more time alone and really getting to know my soul and really listening to what I want in my heart and who I actually am, and then designing my life and my thoughts around those things. Okay? So once you have those things done, that's your aim. That's, you could write and write and write and write, and that's what I would do. But when you get to a place where you're like, this is the aim, this is the goal, this is the target, then you can start going, okay, what do I need to do to get to that place? So when you're answering these two questions, what could I do that feels like self-respect to my human self? What could I do to show respect for my soul? Think about what a massive, tremendous, enormous, giant, beautiful act of self-respect it is to drop both of those cardboard cutouts, the blinged out one and the totally stained one that you thought was actually who you are. That could be your aim. That could be your target. That could be your goal, is to go, you know what? To show self-respect toward my human self and my soul, I'm going to start showing up exactly as I am. I'm going to start talking, I'm going to start speaking the truth when I talk. I'm going to start living out what I actually believe. I'm going to have boundaries. I'm going to live my life in a different way than I've been living, that I know my soul wants to live it, whatever it is. So I can't answer these questions for you, but I really, really want you to answer them. I mean, I hope that I can motivate you to answer these questions, and the answers don't have to be complicated. Like I said, they can just be whatever feels like self-respect. All right, now the next part of this tool is to create a re-aim statement. So that means when you don't hit your target, then you know what you're going to do. Because I think so many times we don't make goals and we don't make changes because we're afraid we're going to fail. Well, guess what? You are going to fail. You're going to fail a bunch of times on your way to succeeding. I wish it wasn't called failure. I mean, when a kid is learning how to walk, we don't freak out every time they fall down. When you are learning how to do something new, you are going to fail, and then you got to get back up, and that's how you succeed. You get back up and you succeed. Especially if you are unwinding old beliefs or you're undoing old habits, you're gonna probably falter a little bit. I don't know anybody that's not. And so let's make a plan for that. My friend, like, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's essential, actually. It's just what's going to happen. So be willing to do everything that you need to do for yourself to get out from under all of this heaviness you've felt. Be willing to suck at it. Be willing to be bad at it. Be willing to fail and fall and start over as many times as it takes. Okay, so on page 7, the re-aim statement. I used to, whatever that is for you, I used to, try to pretend like I was perfect, or I tried to pretend like I was happy, or I tried to, say yes to everybody and do all the things everybody wanted me to do. And then I realized that wasn't being self-respectful or authentic, or it wasn't taking care of my body or my time or my soul. It wasn't living out my own dreams. So now I'm committed to whatever that is for you, living as who I am, doing the difficult things to be who I am. Now this one is really, really important to keep revisiting. So I really want you to keep these worksheets, because as you are walking through all of these changes, you're going to need to remind yourself, why am I doing this? This is uncomfortable. This is causing havoc. You're going to have to remind yourself why you're doing it. So I want you to really work on these tools, and then we're going to make some truth cards about it so that you can have little visual reminders, okay? So spend some time doing this, and I will see you in the studio to make some truth cards next. Mwah.